Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Tuesday, February 13th of 2024. Thanks so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful day so far and a wonderful week. Let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Well, you already know I'm going to go ahead and pull up that transit calendar for February to start off. So we do have a pretty big day today. We do have Mars, which is going to be entering into Aquarius. In fact, it actually entered into Aquarius really late last night, or like I guess kind of like early in the morning, actually. Kind of like around like 1-ish, like 2 o'clock in the morning, East Coast. We also have Venus, which is going to sextile over to Neptune, and then of course that Mars Pluto conjunct, the second of three major transformative transits that we're going to be experiencing this month as far as energies passing over the transformation planet of Pluto. So, big week, building up, of course, to that first quarter moon that's going to be happening on Friday. And then on Saturday, we're going to see Venus conjunct Pluto. So, yeah, February is definitely shaping up to be a very powerful month. Let's go ahead and bring up that actual, let's see. Okay, so we got this going on here. As soon as it comes up, where is it? It should have been right here. How come it's not coming up the way I want it to? This is weird. I don't understand why it's not showing. Let me try again. Let's see. For some reason, it didn't want to come up. Oh, now you want to come up. It's kind of showing it, but then it won't actually like show it. I'm not really understanding what's going on here and why it won't actually show the actual. There it is. There it is. Maybe I was just being a little impatient. All right, cool. So yes, here we go. This is going to be the energies today that we are going to be seeing. Like I said, of course, we do have Mars, which has ingressed into Aquarius, and we do have Venus over here at the same time, making a nice sextile over to Neptune. And let's go ahead and talk about these things. All right. Well, let's first talk about the Venus sextile over to Neptune because it's not as powerful as the Mars Pluto conjunct, but it's still very important. Well, remember, sextiles mean opportunities. That's the way I describe them. So whenever planets are in sextile to each other, that I see that as an opportunity that's arising. Now, of course, Venus is over here in Capricorn, and Neptune's over here in Pisces. Now, of course, Neptune is strong in Pisces. That's where its home is at. So if anything, I'm seeing here that there is an opportunity that does arise here where with Venus being that receptive quality, being that planet where we do like to receive things. And yeah, Venus, especially here in Capricorn, can be more focused on its career, can be more focused on the beauty of things and how things look. And the sextile over to Neptune, it could definitely bring about a little bit more of a dreamy like quality to this. But we have to look at that degree. It's 26 degrees. 2 plus 6 is 8. And 8 is all about Saturnian energy. And 8 is a number of Capricorn. So there's an adulting kind of quality to the sextile. I would say, if anything, today's a day where we can open up and maybe see a dream that can actually be a reality, but it also is going to come with its fair share of hard work. We have to be open to actually doing the hard work. We have to be open to actually kind of putting in the work, putting in the effort to make our dreams come true. I think that today presents itself an opportunity to do that. Maybe we connect with an individual. Maybe maybe a new project comes up. Being that this is Venus, is all about relatability. So it could be an actual person, like I said, that you connect with, maybe a teammate or a colleague in your workplace. Or if you look at this from, of course, you want to look and see where this is all landing in your chart. This also can be, you opening up to building something with somebody, building a relationship with someone, building a plan with somebody as far as how to move forward, the kind of legacy that you guys want to establish together. And like I said, with this being a sextile, this brings up, like I said, the opportunity to really make that dream come true. But like I said, it doesn't come without its fair share of hard work and hard effort. Now, while this is a nice aspect that we're experiencing, we have to look at the other aspects that are happening around it because it makes it not as easy, right? Now, let's take a look at that moon that is, of course, making the conjunction to Chiron and the North Node today. This is major. We have been feeling this Chiron in Aries for a long time. Of course, Chiron being the wounded healer as the glyph of a key. I call it the key to your superpowers. And with it being here with the North Node in Aries, everyone is concerned about the self and wounding when it comes to their self, their personality, how they express they are, who they are, people trying to figure out who they are. This is difficulties with the whole I am. And with the moon here, it's going to simply amplify the energy. Whenever you have planets that are conjunct or energies that are conjunct, their energies have a tendency to amplify. And the moon in Aries is a very impulsive energy. We may want to just respond and react to things rather quickly without thinking things through too much, right? Without thinking things through too much. Now, here's the interesting thing about the whole Chiron, especially when it's in Aries. I think we're all looking for some physical object, something that's going to take our life to the next level, something that's going to take maybe the worries or anxiety about expressing who we are. We're all looking for that one little thing that's just going to make the difference, right? Maybe we're looking for like the relationship or the job or the project or the connection that's just going to be the thing that's going to take our life into the next level. What you doing over there, Wiley? But with it being here in Aries, it's actually you. You are the key to manifesting that new reality. You are the key to the future. It's not someone else. It's not a particular job. It's not a particular person. It's not a particular project. It's nothing that's outside of you. You are the actual key. It's you. That's why I put this as, if you look at the thumbnail for all of the videos for this week, you're going to see that it's a person walking through a keyhole. And I got the image in my head of people trying to walk through this keyhole, but they're unable to walk through it. And like the keyhole is it's like a gate. It's like a door it opens up the door to a new reality. And I use this because I got the image of someone walking through a keyhole and the portal, the gate actually allowing them to pass through because they themselves are the key that's going to open up that door. So that's the thing. Some of you guys have been walking into other people's keyhole, if you will, and you have been getting blockaded. You have not been able to pass through. Why? Because you are trying to live someone else's life. You're trying to be like someone else, and you're not gaining access to the next stage because you are not the key. You have to find your own keyhole, if you will, metaphorically. You have to find your own doorway and realize that you are the key. You know what I'm saying? But some of you guys may be trying to walk through someone else's door, and then you're wondering why the door won't open, and then you'll get frustrated, right? And then so you get frustrated, you get flustered, you're wondering why it's not working. You may get jealous of other people because they're opening up certain doors and you're not opening up those doors. And that's the thing about this, with the moon on top of Chiron, we're going to be feeling more and more into this energy. Now let's look at the ruler of Aries, which is Mars. And Mars, of course, has ingressed into Aquarius, and it's on top of Pluto. So now we are coming to another major transformative moment. You got to remember, Pluto is sort of like this super hyper magnet that absorbs a lot of energy, right? And it makes, anytime a planet goes over Pluto, it absorbs all of this energy, and then it makes it purifies whatever planet goes past it, and it makes it light, and it makes it anew. It goes through the whole death and rebirth process in the Phoenix rising. So we had the sun that did this at the end of Capricorn. We had Mercury that did this when Pluto went into Aquarius, right? So our minds are a little bit lighter right now. Now we're going to have Mars pass over Pluto today and tomorrow. So now it's going to be that action aspect of us, the warrior like aspect of us. Some of you guys have been feeling very dreary. Some of you guys have been feeling very, very weary from the battle of life. And you've been putting in an honest effort and really going for your dreams and really doing that thing. And you're wondering, when am I going to have a breakthrough? I'm tired. I'm worn out. I want to feel renewed. I want to feel the passion and the vigor for life and that raw energy. Well, congratulations, beloved. You made it to this moment. And now that Mars is passing over Pluto, we are about to get a renewal when it comes to that energy. Now, being that this is an Aquarius, this is really going to help us to renew a sense of overall purpose, I think, just in the collective in general. Since Aquarius is a very collective like energy, but at the same time is concerned about the individual. So there's going to be this revival, if you will, of people feeling like they can connect with other people. Especially, we're going to feel this especially more come to the end of the week when Venus goes over Pluto, right? And we've been needing this energy. We've been needing this energy, right? There's a reason why these energies are conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius and not Capricorn, right? It's because we have to get back to the humanity of things and the person, the people, the spirits. We have to get back to that energy instead of focusing on the big Capricorn energy, especially the inner Capricorn, which is, the corporations and the big business and these big buildings and the society at large and all these big structures, which are collapsing, they're falling, they're transforming. But ultimately, what is beyond all that? It's the people. It's the Aquarius energy, right? So with the daylight today, with Mars coming over it, you're definitely going to be feeling, you probably will feel a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie. With Mars over Pluto, you're probably going to feel a little bit tired. And after Mars passes Pluto, it's not like we're going to get our full strength back immediately, right? We're not going to get the full strength back immediately. It's going to be a little bit. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared to honestly probably be tired for the rest of the week, because whenever a planet comes over Pluto, like I said, Pluto has a tendency to absorb so much of the energy of that planet, especially negative energy of that planet. But it's going to transmute a lot. And once we come out the other side of it, it's almost like we have to learn how to walk again, right? It's almost like we have to learn how to fly again. When it's the Phoenix rising, it's birthed from the ashes. It's like a baby chick Phoenix, right? And it has to learn how to fly again, even though it has all of that DNA and all that information in it to know how to fly. And you have all that experience from, your entire life, because none of us have ever experienced a Mars Pluto conjunction in Aquarius. No one alive has experienced that unless you've been alive for 240 years, right? So maybe there's some tortoises out there, maybe there's some jellyfish out there that have experienced this, but no one alive has ever experienced this before. And I think that's the other part of this too, is because you're seeing a lot of people respond to a lot of these energies right now. And as an astrologer, as an observer, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can explain why this is happening, because we are all experiencing energies that we've never experienced before. We never experienced a Mercury conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. We've never experienced a Mars conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, right? We've never experienced a Chiron North Node in Aries while consciously being aware of Chiron's existence. When Chiron came into the knowledge of people, into the consciousness, it wasn't until 1977 when that happened. And that was when Chiron was in Taurus. And the last time that Chiron was in Aries, it was with the South Node and not the North Node. So there are a lot of firsts that a lot of people are experiencing. So what do you do when you have a lot of firsts? Well, you kind of pull from the experience that you have, right? You kind of pull from that experience the things that you think that may kind of work, but ultimately you're experiencing something new. Just like, say, take like a skateboarder or a snowboarder, right? Maybe they've been practicing their craft for a while, but then they go to a new skate park, or maybe they upgrade to like a different mountain or something like that. So like a different slope. Maybe they go from the beginner slope to the intermediate slope. Maybe they spend so much time on the beginner slope, they learn how to master it. Now they got to take those skills and take it to the intermediate slope. But like I said, that slope is something they never experienced before, right? And they kind of have to learn a little bit more, but at least they still have experience going into it. So that's kind of where we are. We're not starting from ground zero, but like I said, as we are shifting into this new age, right? Like a car that shifts, it loses a little speed and then it gains speed. So sometimes I think we can get worried about losing that little bit of speed before we speed back up. And that little bit of time between the shifting of the gears, slowing down and then speeding back up, that is the period where we had to have more faith and more trust in the process than ever before. Because if we hyper react to that moment and we think that, oh, I'm going backwards, I'm not going to make it, I'm in the wrong place, no one has my back. And if we go through all of that sort of stuff, instead of trusting the process and continuing to just take the necessary steps, then we may blow up a great situation for ourselves because we don't have the patience or the trust to see things through. We don't have the trust to see that something may be really working out in our favor, and we're just jumping the gun, if you will. So, especially with the Mars on Pluto, like I said, we are going to feel a bit drained after this. I will say this with the Mercury conjunct Pluto, that mentally we were all kind of at that point. And I think it's interesting that Mercury hit Pluto first before Mars and Venus. And I think it's actually a good thing because most people tend to live in their head anyways with Mercury. And then even Mars rules the head too. So I think it's a good thing that we're kind of getting that energy shifted through and transformed so we can feel a little bit lighter when it comes to that aspect. So when we get the Venus quality, that's going to be more like that receptive quality, right? And I got to remember the sun is the heart, right? Solar plexus is the heart. It's this whole area too. But those energies conjuncted in Capricorn. So we're not going to see the sun Pluto conjunct in Aquarius until next year. So there's still a lot of things within our heart space, within the will of like within our solar plexus, within our heart chakra. There's still a lot of things that we as humanity have to work out this entire year before it gets back to the Aquarius energy, right? But at the very least, our minds can feel a little bit lighter. And then when it comes to the action oriented, the warrior like energy, right, we can kind of get that aspect feeling a little bit lighter as well. Pluto is also about establishing boundaries. So this can be a day, especially with Mars conjuncting Pluto, where we may feel like we need to redraw certain boundaries with our actions. When it comes to a more like Aquarian vibe, when it comes to the way that we move about society and communicate with people, right? Maybe you are typically very introverted, but this gives you an opportunity to be more extroverted. Maybe, maybe you just decide to stay at home a lot of the time, but then you decide to kind of go out. Maybe, like I said, I feel like this is more so we need to come more out of our shells a little bit more and actually talk to people. I know that's scary for some of you guys, but this is a time where we need to kind of come out of our shells and actually talk to people more, and we're kind of expanding our boundaries, if you will, when it comes to that sort of thing. I think, of course, we need to be discerning still about the people that we associate with, right? Because Aquarius is all about the vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. But at the same time, I feel like now we're getting to a point where holding ourselves back from connecting with people just out of maybe a fear of expressing who we are with that moon, Chiron, North Node, and Aries. We have to be willing to kind of let go of that fear and be able to move forward despite that fear, because it's going to be there, but we have to have the courage and the bravery to move forward anyways and to connect with people. I'm watching an anime right now. It's called Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki, and essentially it's an anime about a guy who's a bit of a loner and just plays video games. The whole first season is him pretty much coming out of his shell and learning the game of life and learning the game of like social interaction, because the beginning of the anime he had like a really long hair, he always just kind of mumbled over his words, he played video games, didn't really talk to his classmates and stuff, and then he meets a girl that kind of starts to open up his eyes. He kind of treats life as a bit of a video game and starts to progress and starts to gain experience. And then let alone now he's like connecting with other people, he's gone on dates, he's helping other people come out of their shells and stuff too. So that's kind of where we are right now. Maybe there's some of us that kind of feel like we just been kind of secluded away from the world, but this is a moment where we need to kind of come out of our shells and not be afraid to connect with people, and we're going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Things may get a little bit messy. I think there's an aspect here where Capricorn likes things to be polished. Aquarius is okay with things not being polished. And I think that's where we are right now. I think with all this energy moving into Aquarius, it's giving us room to experiment and be a little bit rebellious and be a little bit unorthodox. These energies, like I said, they're moving out. This is Aquarius energy that these Pluto conjunctions are happening. So it doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like super everything is in its correct order, in its rightful place. Give it a shot. Experiment, innovate, put yourself out there, and you'll be good. So, yeah, that's what I have as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and hop into the cards. So, let's see. I'm just like trying to get used to like this particular like aspect. So my tripod actually broke. My tripod broke. My webcam is fine, but my tripod broke. So I had to like fixate my like webcam on top of this, and then trying to like look at this, but I'm looking at the screen. It's like messing me up, So, but it's all good. So, and I had to like adjust this so I can get a little bit more light because the light over here wasn't enough to really do anything. This card just popped out. I have the Three of Swords upright. Typically, this card is a pretty gnarly card. It kind of talks about some type of heartbreak, some type of frustration, like the ending of something. I think it's interesting that one just kind of flew out. Let's see what else we got here, though. Well, I have the Ace of Swords as well. I have the Three of Swords and the Ace of Swords. I think really what this comes down to is that maybe the heartbreak is just the whole idealistic world that we had in our head, or the whole idealistic vision that we had in our head of what our life is going to look like at this point, what the world is going to look like at this point. That is what's being shattered. And I think we all are having something like that to some sort of degree. I thought I was going to be at a different place in my life at this point. I thought I was going to have a little bit more money at this point in my life. I thought I was going to have this at this point in my life. I thought I was going to have that relationship at this point in my life. Or I thought I was going to look a certain way. We have to kind of get out of our own head right now and realize, and I think that's kind of the nice thing about this too, because Mercury, which is a air ruled, like an airy planet, it's usually concerning like the mind, everything like that. Now that we have Mars, which actually is the head, Aries rules the head. I think this is a sort of a day where we do have to kind of come out of our head and kind of come out of these certain delusions of thinking that things are going to look a certain way, and they just simply don't. And that can cause some frustration, I think. But I think with a day like today, it's going to begin that process of like, it's okay. It's okay that things don't look exactly the way I thought it was going to look. That is why this is a huge moment of trusting the process. This is a huge moment of having faith. This is a huge moment where we need to pray, meditate, and just continue to take those steps that we are called to take, but not get super frustrated if it doesn't go exactly the way that we planned, right? Bottom of the deck, I have the Tower card. Oh, man, Tower card. Some type of ending, something's coming to an end. I get the feeling that this is kind of giving me some crazy news kind of vibe. So we may see some sort of crazy news story happen today. Um, and with the Tower card here, golly, I don't want to think that something bad's going to happen as far as like an actual like bombing or something actually collapsing. But I think what this is that maybe with the Three of Swords, it could be someone that is so frustrated with their life and they can't see the beauty of it that they almost take out their frustrations on other people. And you don't want to do that today. You don't want to take out your frustrations on other people just because things aren't going exactly the way that you thought they're going to go. This is about taking a level of personal responsibility in our life and realizing what was our part in, where we are right now. What actions did we take? Because, like I said, this is Mars too, and with Mars being in Aquarius, we can definitely be focused on the actions of other people. But Mars it still rules Aries, which is still it's a personal planet. These are the personal planets that are conjuncting Pluto, so we can get in our head of other people's thoughts and other people's ideologies with Mercury that are controlling our lives, or other people's actions that are controlling our life with Mars. And we can be blaming other people for all these things when really we need to be focused on the self and how we have contributed to this narrative ourselves. So don't get too focused on what other people have done or other people have said and allowing that to rule and dictate your life, especially when it comes from a more negative aspect, when it comes from an aspect of ignorance and they don't necessarily understand your experience, what you're going through. This is not when people are going to be wanting to play the blame game right now. I feel like with these kind of cards, people are going to be wanting to play the blame game hardcore today. I'm going to cut the deck. I do have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Oh man, this is definitely giving me, especially with it being Mars, and I gotta be real too because Mars is the planet of war. So with something like this could be war-like energy. Something may go down. We may get some sort of news, whether it comes out today or tomorrow. Something goes down today when it comes to war-like energy, where, like I said, someone's heart is broken, and then they take some sort of action or make some sort of decree, and it's going to impact other people. But the King of Pentacles is reversed. So this is someone who believes that what they're doing has value and is just, but it really isn't. And they're going to be, instead of giving value to the world, they're going to be extracting the value from the world or extracting the value from other people and stuff. So kind of a pretty intense, gnarly tarot reading, I would say, with this, which is why I'm saying like the Venus sextile over to Neptune, it can be very positive, but it's just, we gotta look at the energies around it. So we have to realize that if we're wanting to build this new world, it's going to require some work and some effort and some honesty and some personal integrity and some responsibility, you know. And with the moon amplifying the energies of Chiron on the North Node, we have to realize that we are the actual key, and that it's no one else that's going to come and save us. Someone else is going to come and change our life. We have to be the one that's willing to walk through that door ourselves and make sure that we're also walking through the right doors and not trying to walk through someone else's door that is meant for them or try to completely emulate someone else. We got to make sure that we are doing what is right for us, right? So we got to remember the moon is opposed to south node. So we can get to a point where we want to maybe appease other people and we want to compromise our integrity and compromise who we are just to make other people happy. But we have to make sure it's like those decisions that we're trying to make, those actions that we're taking, are they what you really want to do, or is it what someone else wants you to do? Is it who you are, or is it someone else trying to turn you into something that you're not? You know what I'm saying? So, and I will finish off with this because the interesting thing about this anime, about this character, is that there's sort of like a Pygmalion effort like aspect to this, where you have someone that's trying to transform someone else into someone that is more attractive and more of what they would want, maybe like in a partner or something like that, or in a person. But what's cool about this anime is that even though the main character got help from this one girl, as far as like how to be better in the social game of life and how to interact with people and connect with people, he ultimately has stayed true to who he is, and he's taken actions that have gone against the recommendation of the chick that initially helped him, but it's still working out for him. So even though we can get help from other people, we can be influenced by other people, if we still act and move in accordance to our personal integrity, we can get along, we can be influenced by the people, but we are still staying true to who we are. I think that's the important thing here. In this particular anime, the character, even though he's being helped by somebody, he is still staying true to who you are. So just like with you, you can be helped and influenced by other people, but stay true to who you are. That is going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Hopefully that this message assists you on today, this Tuesday, this Mars Day. That's the other part about this too. Jeez. Something's going to pop off today. I'm just saying. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll see you all on the next astrology forecast. Peace out.